Disclaimer. This work is a complete work of fiction based on the events of Operation Epic Fury, the joint U.S.-Israeli airstrike on February 28, 2026, and subsequent reports, including the deaths of Zahra Haddad Adel, wife of Mojtaba Khamenei, and their son Mohammed Bagher, Mojtaba's survival with minor leg injuries, and the bombing of the Shajara Tayyeba Girls' Elementary School in Minab, resulting in 168 fatalities. It is not intended to insult or promote any real persons or actual events.
Quid pro quo, a retaliatory exchange. Chapter 1, The Moment of Survival. February 28, 2026, 9:32 a.m. Mojtaba Khamenei paused in the garden of the leadership compound in Tehran. He remembered his wife, Zahra, smiling and saying, "Today is the 10th of Ramadan. Let us pray with Father," and he slightly slowed his pace. That made the difference between life and death. A moment later, a blast engulfed the building. In the rain of debris, he crawled out, shrapnel embedded in his leg. Amidst the ringing in his ears, he thought he heard the screams of his wife and son, Mohammed Bagher. But they were gone. His father, Grand Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and most of his family had also vanished with the ash. Dragging his bloody leg, Mojtaba murmured just one thing. "Quid pro quo, is it?" Chapter 2, Silent Rage. March 8. The Assembly of Experts unanimously elected him as the new supreme leader. Mojtaba did not appear. He made no public stance, and all statements were text only. The world clamored about a lack of proof of life, but he simply remained silent. On the desk in his private study, 2 photographs. Zahra's smile, and a family photo taken when Mohammed Bagher was 7. Every night, he would hold them and repeat the same words. One night, a flashback hit him. The last morning, when Mohammed Bagher tugged on his sleeve with his small hand and said, "Baba, today I want to eat Burberry bread and halva." Zahra's words, promising with a gentle smile, "Let's make it together after the Ramadan fast breaks." He felt as though the sweet aroma of that morning still lingered in the back of his nose. The president said, "This is a beautiful deal. A deal that turned my wife and son to ash along with the nuclear facilities." His anger was no longer fire, but ice. He did not utter a hot cry. Instead, he began to calculate coldly. Chapter 3, Diplomatic Settlement. March 15, United Nations Security Council. The Iranian representative officially announced their filing with the ICJ, International Court of Justice. Operation Epic Fury is an act of state terrorism intended not only for the assassination of leaders but for the complete annihilation of civilians, specifically, 168 schoolgirls in Minab, and an entire family. In a private meeting, Mojtaba revealed his true feelings only to his close aides. "They love quid pro quo. Then we shall give it to them. Payment equal in weight to the family lives they stole." On the same day, the complete blockade of the Strait of Hormuz continued. Crude oil prices spiked, delivering a blow to the global economy. Furthermore, evidence was stacked at the ICJ pursuing the Trump administration's responsibility. It was his wife's funeral portrait and the textbooks of the children buried in the rubble of Minab. Chapter 4, The Doctrine of Equivalent Exchange. March 25, United Nations General Assembly Emergency Special Session. Alongside the application for provisional measures from the ICJ, the Iranian ambassador quietly placed children's textbooks recovered from Minab and Zahra Haddad Adel's black chatter, her personal effect, on the evidence display stand. "These are not strategic assets or bargaining chips," the ambassador's voice did not tremble. "This is the weight of time eternally lost to one family. We define this as the unit of equivalent exchange." At that moment, the U.S. delegation's seating area became restless. Just moments before, President Trump had posted on X, "If Iran thinks a single chatter can move international opinion, that is a beautiful delusion." But the delusion was beginning to move reality. On the same day, extending the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps declared, only passage of crude oil tankers bound for third countries will be permitted. Mojtaba did not show his face at headquarters. All instructions were via encrypted text, concise. One night, an aide respectfully inquired, "Sir, perhaps a video message? The world is seeking proof that the leader is alive." Mojtaba took a photograph from his desk drawer. The family photo taken with Zara and Mohammed Bagher when he was 7. He pointed it at the camera and said, "This is my proof of life." However, this is from before they burned it all down. Only that still image was posted to the Telegram channel. The number of likes exceeded 20 million in 3 hours. April 1st, April Fool's Day. In the White House, Trump received a report from his economic advisor. "Mr. President, crude oil futures are at $140 a barrel. Domestic gas average $5.80, and the S&P 500 is down 12% from last week." "Not beautiful," Trump muttered. At that moment, his phone vibrated. An advisor read it aloud. Mojtaba Khamenei, a new post. "I hear you are good at deals. Then I shall make a proposal. A complete apology from the United States and the reconstruction of the girls' school in Minab. In exchange, we will ease the straight blockade by one level. Quid pro quo, this is what equivalent exchange is." The room fell silent. Trump put his hand to his chin, looked up at the ceiling for a moment, and then said, "That son of a bitch knows how to negotiate." That night, Tehran. Mojtaba was making tea alone in his private study. On the desk were 2 photos of Zara. One from their wedding. The other was a snapshot taken when she had delivered books to the girls' school in Minab. It was found beneath the rubble. He held the photo and said softly, "The equivalent exchange is not over yet. The real thing is about to begin." After taking a sip of tea, Mojtaba stood up quietly. He no longer minded the pain in his leg. His anger had become something cold like ice, but something that would never melt. Chapter 5, The Cost of the Deal. April 5, ICJ Headquarters in The Hague. Deliberations began on Iran's application for provisional measures. As the first round of evidence material, a statement personally signed by Mojtaba was read aloud. "I lost my father, Grand Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, my mother, Mansour, my wife, Zara, and my son, Mohammed Bagher, in the same single strike. This is not a strategic strike but the annihilation of a family. What the US president called a beautiful deal changed my life forever. If you seek quid pro quo, first an apology and compensation. I want the weight of the lives of the 168 girls in Minab and my family placed on the same scale." The U.S. representative in the public gallery stiffened his face. Crude oil was at $152 a barrel. On the verge of riots at gas stations in Europe. April 10, White House Oval Office. Trump was glaring at Mojtaba's proposal in front of his close aides. "Apology? Compensation? A letter signed by me? Don't give me that. He's just ripping off my deal." The economic advisor cautiously advised. "Sir, the S&P is down another 15%. Lobbyists from the oil industry are also pressuring us. The military-industrial complex argues now is the time for additional strikes, but the market cannot take it. If we at least express regret, there might be a chance to get the strait partially opened." Trump slammed his fist on the desk. "Regret? I don't do regret. But if it's a deal, that's another matter. If he wants equivalent exchange, I'll play along. But I set the conditions." That night, Trump released an unusually short statement. "To ease tensions with Iran, we are opening the window for negotiations. Quid pro quo, if there is something in return, I'll listen." Tehran, private study. Mojtaba was drinking tea with Zara's wedding photo and Mohammed Bagher's snapshot lined up. Outside the window, the city was gradually starting to come back to life after Nowruz. He spoke to the photos. "It is not over yet. If they apologize, that is victory. But if they refuse, that is merely the beginning of a new equivalent exchange. Placing down his teacup, Mojtaba quietly stood up. He no longer minded the pain in his leg. His anger had become something ice-cold, yet something that would never melt.